just put a little semolina down on the bottom, just so the breads don't stick. My name's Tim. I'm a baker. I've worked in the industry for 4 years. When we cut the bread, it gives steam a way of escaping the loaf without bursting or making pockets. So I do different styles of cuts on each type of bread, just so it helps the front of house girls identify which kinds they are, as well as it gives them all a different look. Load it into the oven, and we have like a special hearth oven, and you can see all the ceramic there, the slab rock, and that's what keeps it, gives it a nice hearty bake. And that's pretty much why they call it the hearth of the bakery, because your oven will determine the quality of your bread. They go through a process of checking the bread every day for faults. So I look at the bread and make sure it's come to a full proof, which means there's it's correct amount of yeast and correct procedure. And that's kind of the process I go through first thing. Give you an idea, that's really nice and hard, and then still on this side, we're a little tender. So I'm gonna bake it a little bit more. Timing's everything. If I leave it in the oven 2 minutes too long, it's gonna be burnt. You know, if I take it out too early, it's gonna collapse, or it's gonna be gummy and chewy. And so, you know, time is everything. This is all of our flour, yeast, and salt scaled into bins, and then we have that prepared the night before. And so when I go to mix, I'll put everything into the mixer here. The flour, salt, yeast. We use a fresh levain and water. This is our natural levain. We mix flour, water, and our starter. It's basically when the yeast reproduces, it breaks down the flour and the water, and that's what gives us our nice sour artisan taste. Everything in bread making is time and temperature pretty much, because we're working with a living organism, yeast. My final dough temperature is dependent on the temperature of the flour, the temperature of the levain, and the temperature of the water. Make sure we have enough water, enough flour, enough yeast, enough salt, and to have those on a perfect balance. And that balance is what gives us our final product. So now we're gonna mix, we're gonna let it develop on first speed, and that's when I'm gonna check to make sure that there's enough flour, water, levain ratio there. It's a nice consistency. I make about 8 different types of dough on average a day. We probably yield between 300 and 350 loaves. I'm just gonna check it. So what I'm looking for is, I'm going to make a window out of it, and that's gonna show me that it's ready. So I can actually pull it, and you can almost see right through it. And that's what we're looking for. We allow it to rest. So we let the gluten strands that we develop to relax. We allow the yeast to reproduce. When it comes to a full fermentation, that's when we start cutting it up. These are our sourdough loaves, which you saw come out of the oven earlier there. We use a means of retarding our bread. We put it into the fridge, allow it to slowly ferment. It gives our bread a specific flavor that we want. Doing everything by hand, that's the purpose of being an artisan bakery. We're trying to take it back to keep it at its roots. So what I'm looking for is like no ripping, you know, a nice smooth surface.